This is the Aqualife Edgewater outdoor hot tub, and it has quietly become my favorite way to reset at the end of the day. The biggest surprise is how genuinely therapeutic the jets feel without turning my backyard into a maintenance headache. It fits into that hard shell outdoor spa category for people who want real hydrotherapy and year-round use without building a permanent structure. I see it working for families, couples, and anyone who hosts friends often. If you want the convenience of plug and play, if you want something that looks like it belongs in a landscaped backyard, and if you care about comfort for more than 2 people at a time, this is the lane it lives in. The design matters here. The shape is rectangular with a driftwood-colored exterior that blends in instead of screaming for attention. The shell is acrylic, which gives it a smooth, solid feel. That hard shell is a big deal when you lean back against it. It does not flex, and it never feels flimsy, even when all the seats are occupied. The footprint is easy to place on a patio. It measures about 74 inches by 74 inches and stands around 35 inches tall. In real use, that size translates into enough room for 6 adults to sit like they actually want to be there, not crouched with knees pressed together. The seating layout is more thoughtful than it looks in photos. There is a lounger that runs along one side, a couple of deeper captain-style seats with headrests, and a few side seats that vary in depth. I like that the seat heights are different. On colder nights, I take the deeper spot and sink my shoulders below the water line. When friends are over, the taller seats keep conversations at eye level. The footwell is roomy enough that your ankles are not playing bumper cars every time someone shifts around. Setup was refreshingly straightforward, with a couple of realities to plan for. Delivery was curbside only. Getting it from the driveway to the final spot took 2 people and a patient approach. I was careful not to scuff the exterior while pivoting around a tight corner. Once it was on the pad, the plug-and-play part was exactly what I was hoping for. I filled it, plugged it into a standard household 120-volt outlet, and let it get to work. It holds around 300 gallons, so the fill is not quick. Heating on 120 volts is steady but not fast. On a mild day, it was ready for a first soak later that evening. In winter, it took longer to climb to max temperature. The control panel is simple. The buttons are big enough to hit with wet hands, and the screen is bright enough to read at night without being harsh. Day to day, the performance comes down to the water movement and the heat. There are 28 jets, and I stopped counting and started smiling once I found the sweet spots. Each jet is adjustable. I like being able to dial a jet down around my ribs, while leaving the neck jets more assertive. The pressure is more than enough for me after a long run or a back-heavy day at work. What matters is that the seats do not feel like a lottery. No one is fighting for the one good spot. Every position gets a different kind of massage, and there is at least one seat for every type of soreness I have had, from lower back tension to tight shoulders to calf fatigue. Heat retention has been strong. The insulation and the tapered cover do real work overnight. I can pop the cover in the morning and the water is still in a comfortable range. That means I am not constantly waiting for it to get back up to temperature. The flip side is that the cover is heavy and the locking clips felt a little delicate compared to the weight they are managing. I had one clip fail after a few weeks. It did not stop me from using the tub, but I would like to see sturdier hardware there, especially if you plan to keep it locked when kids are around. Let me talk through a few real days with it. After a gym session with a lot of deadlifts, I take the lounger and aim the lower back jets right where I feel tuggy. I keep the flow on the firmer side for 10 minutes, then back it off and let the heat settle everything down. On cold nights, I go to the deeper captain chair and let the neck jets work while the steam rolls off the surface. That is where the lighting comes in. The multicolor light-emitting diode system sounds like a gimmick, but it shifted the whole mood for me. Underwater lights and a couple of lighted water columns give the backyard this soft spa glow. I like to set a calm tone and just watch the colors cycle slowly while I unwind. Hosting is where this thing surprised me the most. I had 5 friends over, and 6 adults fit without apology. No one had to hang an arm over the edge or tuck their knees up to their chest. The built-in ice bucket sounds minor until you are soaking, and no one has to go inside to grab a cold drink. It keeps the flow going and keeps everyone in the conversation. It is one of those small features you end up using every single time people are over. On controls, I like that I rarely need the manual. Temperature changes, jet zones, and lighting modes are a couple of taps away. There is no lag when I switch modes. The pump noise is a soft hum at full power, so I can still talk without raising my voice. The faux wood exterior takes hose-offs without drama. It has not faded or warped through sun and a couple rounds of rain and frost. The filter is easy to access for a quick rinse. Mine looked discolored earlier than I expected, which had me order a spare. It kept working, but I would plan on rotating a second filter if you are picky about water clarity. There are a few trade-offs worth calling out. 120-volt plug-and-play is about convenience, not bragging rights for heat speed. In a colder climate, I would recommend getting a professional to convert it to 240 volts. You get faster heat-up times, and it is less of a wait between sessions in winter. Delivery being curbside only means you should plan your path to the final spot, clear obstacles, and have furniture sliders or straps ready. It is manageable with a second set of hands, but it is not light. Also, as solid as the shell feels, I am conscious when moving the cover not to bang the edges. The exterior looks too nice to scrape. A specific use case that has become a ritual is a late evening soak after the house quiets down. I set the water a couple degrees warmer than daytime, kick on the neck and shoulder jets, and run the light-emitting diode lights at a slow fade. 10 minutes of stronger pressure to get the knots to let go, then 15 minutes of just heat and gentle bubbles. I sleep better on those nights, and I wake up with my back already warm and loose. On the weekend, it turns into a social spot. Music at a low volume, the ice bucket doing its thing, and enough space that no one has to negotiate seat swaps for the good jets. One more thing I appreciate is that it is not trying to be clever with too many modes or hidden menus. It does the fundamentals right: solid shell, confident jet pressure, honest 6-seat layout, real insulation. Then it layers in a few smart touches that you actually use, like the lighting and the ice bucket, and a cover that traps heat well. Maintenance is part of owning any hot tub. I test the water, balance sanitizer and pH, rinse the filter, and wipe down the shell when needed. It takes a few minutes a week. If you want a completely hands-off experience, any spa will disappoint you. If you are okay with a small routine, this one respects your time. So, who should consider the Aqualife Edgewater outdoor hot tub? If you want an easy on-ramp into a real hard shell spa, if you want true comfort for a household or a small group, and if you value strong jets with simple controls, this is a very satisfying option. It looks good enough to live on a patio without needing to be hidden. It is sturdy, it holds heat, and it makes evenings better. If you live where winters get serious, I would budget for a professional conversion to 240 volts. If you are in a mild climate and you want plug-and-play simplicity, 120 volts works fine. Expect a little lift on delivery day, plan to replace a clip or two down the line, and keep a spare filter around. Beyond those notes, I have been impressed by how often I reach for it. It is the kind of purchase that pays you back every time you step in and exhale. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with any questions or your own experience with outdoor hot tubs. Thank you for watching.